Good morning everyone, my name's Gail Davis. I'm here to try and answer some questions you may have. Today the question we're going to look at is, which Bible will I use in my kindergarten? So the problem with this is, first of all, we have to decide what's the difference between a Bible and a Bible storybook. This is my Bible. The Bible is an ancient text. 3,000 years old, some of these stories, and most of them around 2,000 years old. It's an ancient text, it's an ambiguous text, it's a highly diverse text, and it's a text that was not written for children. However, we have a responsibility in our Catholic education system to introduce the students to the Bible, which is our foundational religious text, the book on which our faith is based. So how do we do this? Well, this is a Bible, but there are also a lot of publications which are called Bible storybooks, written especially for young children, because it was identified in our recent past that if we want to share these stories with our young children, then this Bible, in its true form, will be too difficult for them to understand. So we had authors who took the Bible, adapted stories from the Bible, selected different stories from the Bible, and then wrote them as children's stories. Now that's not a problem. However, what's ended up is an adaptation which is far removed from the true biblical text. We end up with children's Bible storybooks. This is not a Bible. This is a book with some stories adapted from the Bible. Does not have all of the books of the Bible, does not have all the Old Testament or all the New Testament. Some of the stories in here have been so far adapted that they really don't resemble the true biblical text. That's a Bible storybook. It is not an accurate retelling of a Bible story. It has been adapted for children and has moved away from the true text. Another example of an adaptation of the Bible is the Bible Action Bible. Now this is written in a very modern graphic novel format, and for its use, it probably has a purpose as a graphic novel. However, the text has changed completely to dialogue text. The images are very stylized into superhero images, and it is not really in the context of the story of the original Bible. It was written for graphic, dramatic effect. It is not what I would say is a true Bible, and is certainly not a Bible I'd recommend in our kindergartens. We also have big books which have taken the Bible stories and produced them into big books. And again, the text is written as a narrative, big book storytelling text. Those sort of stories from the Bible, storybook Bible resources, are bright, are colourful, but they are adaptations of the true text. So this is our dilemma. What do we use in our kindy? Because some of those adaptations are not true to the text and may give the children their initial understanding of the Bible as being incorrect, one that they will have to maybe change as they grow and become accustomed to the true Bible. So we have to be very careful we're not grounding them with an inaccurate image of our foundational religious and sacred scripture. So we have the dilemma. How do we show a true Bible, which is not written for children, in our kindergarten, so that we're not relying on Bible storybook text? Well, I'd like to recommend to you today this Bible. This is called the Catholic Children's Bible. It is a true Bible in that it has all of the books of the Old Testament, all of the books of the New Testament. It is a Good News translation of the biblical text. It is set out the way a true Bible is set out, with book, chapter, verses. You can see it's in columns, so it's written differently to the storybook Bibles. This Bible is also very good for teachers. It has the coloured tabs down the side. For students, it does have some colour plate information there for them as well to make it more attractive for them. This is a Bible, a true Bible. It is a good Bible, a full biblical text. This needs to be in the Kindy too. Have the Bible placed somewhere special so they can see that it is to be reverenced, that it is a special text. Never have it on the floor. Have it in your sacred space. Have it in a place and have it placed in a way that the children can access it but also know how to treat it carefully. We stand for the gospel readings at our Mass on the weekends as a sign of reverence. I'm not suggesting you stand around that, but I'm just suggesting we need to treat it with reverence and have it enthroned in your Kindy, showing reverence. That's a good Bible. These other Bible stories that I've been showing you, the big books, you can have them in your Kindy. That's fine, but they go on the storybook shelf. This on a special place so they can see and notice the difference. And they'll pick up very quickly that the story Bibles, storybooks are found on the storybook shelf, but this is the true biblical text that those stories have been adapted from. So I hope that answers your question. There's a place for both. The stories adapted from the Bible on the storybook shelf and told as they have been adapted from the Bible. And the true biblical text also in the Kindy so the students can see this is the biblical text that we rely on for our faith, and it is different. We treat it differently and it appears differently in the way it is set out in the text that it has. So I hope that's answered your question. There's a place for both, but we need to separate them so the students can understand and pick up themselves the difference in the stories and in the actual text. Okay, I hope to answer more of your questions in the future. Thanks everyone.